everyone. So a nice sunny day and an unexpected surprise. When I was waiting for my Mac Mini M4 Pro to arrive, I actually got another box that included, you can't see it in here, but it is Mr. Flip. And Mr. Flip is here with me. I only have one battery, so there's that. So I could only do one flight for the moment. I guess the other batteries are on back order or something, or held up in customs, not sure. I got the hub, I got this. I got the RCN3 controller, charged, updated the geofencing update, so this is all good to go too. And just so you know, you don't have to update the firmware to get that new geofencing to be in place. So we got this thing. Initial thoughts right out of the gate is it's interesting. It's cool looking in a weird way. I don't like the fact that it wants to turn on automatically when you unfold it. I had the gimbal guard on and I had it unfolded and I inserted the battery and it powered on and I had to hurry up and get this thing off so it didn't damage the gimbal. So that's kind of an annoying thing. I would rather be in control of that personally. I've heard others say that too. This is kind of, I didn't watch a ton of videos. I watched a little bit because why not? Try to educate yourself to maybe have an idea what to look out for and gauge for myself. Nobody's paying me. I bought this with my own money. And I'm going to keep it real, hopefully like always. I'm on my way to my mom, who is in a care home not far, so I figured why not do a little video on the Maiden flight on the Flip and see what it's all about. Right now, just so you're aware, it's a relatively windy day. So we have winds. Let me raise the brightness. Okay, so UAV forecast, which is my go-to. 17, I don't know if you can see that, 17 to 30 mile an hour winds. Kind of bright, I'm right in the sun. But the flags are blowing, it's noticeably windy. It's 30 degrees out or something, so it basically feels like zero, which really sucks. So I do have my little gloves. These AG gloves will help keep the bite. They don't pay me or anything. They just send some gloves on occasion. I've been using them for a long time, and I do find it really mandatory when it's colder out, like in Chicago or this area, or any area that's cooler. You can still fly without hindering the ability of flying well as a drone pilot because they're thin enough and it just kind of cuts the edge off of them. So I'll put a link. They're like 10 bucks, so you can't go wrong. I mean, it's not a big deal. I bought a ton of them myself. They happen to send me some on occasion. I gave some away. Hopefully those guys get them soon. And yeah, AG gloves on Amazon. Great little thing to keep the edge off your fingers, because that's a huge thing when you're flying and it's cooler out. It sucks. You can't feel your fingers. There's like a whole balance between flying. Like right now I'm doing this video intro inside the car because I don't want to be outside any longer than I have to. It's super windy, really annoying, and I'd rather just kind of get an idea and give you guys the first impression on what I feel this thing is experience-wise, flight characteristic-wise, if it can handle on a day like this, which isn't super windy, but windy enough that you need to fly. Maybe you're flying a job or a real estate job or something, and can you pull this out and actually get something? It has a 3-axis gimbal. It does 4K 60. I think it even does 4K 100 frame per second in the slow motion mode. But if it doesn't handle well in the wind, it doesn't really mean shit, right? I mean, at the end of the day, I'm going to grab my Mavic 3 Pro if a shot really matters, maybe my Mini 4 Pro, but I still really don't think it's that great of a drone. It's a cool drone, but I would rather fly a workhorse like the Mavic 3 Pro, have 3 different focal lengths. I got 24 millimeter, 70 millimeter, 166 or 164, whatever the new one is, millimeter. So you have 3 different lenses, and this has a fixed aperture. Thankfully, it has a 3-axis gimbal. The Neo has a 1-axis gimbal, and it's very limited in the wind, so you're not going to get anything really great with the Neo, which I have next to me on a windy day like it is today, with the 1-axis gimbal and the just light drone combo. So let's go ahead and get outside the car. I'm gonna launch it, see what we can do, see what the initial thoughts are experience-wise of flying Mr. Flip. And yeah, we have one battery. That's all I got, one shot. And I'll get you some real-time input, and yeah, let's get outside. Okay guys, so outside, and it's pretty freaking cold with the wind, and we shall see what happens. I figured, why not give a real-life maiden flight update? Or why not give a real-life first day 30-mile-an-hour gusts? We'll see if the Flip can handle, and I'll give you my input on the experience if I can without freezing ass this entire time. Really don't like cold. So we're gonna go ahead and get RCN3. I'm gonna put the sticks in. So we got the sticks. Now the reason I go for this controller is because I personally enjoy using my iPhone 15 Pro Max. I don't like having another device that I gotta worry about. I figure I got my iPhone, which I know like the back of my hand. I got a pretty simple controller, and I have the drone. So I'm most concerned with the drone, and that's it. I don't have to worry about the controller and what it's doing and accidentally hitting the screen and popping out of the Fly app, which happens to me all the time. So these guys, to me, are always gonna be what I fly with. That's just my preference, and it never has given me an issue, and I'll still do that with the Mavic 4 Pro Cine when it comes out, and I will buy one. So let's get the Flip out. Ugh. So Flip has this guy, little gimbal cover, right? Got to pull that off because when we turn it on or unfold the props, it's going to automatically start up. So we don't want to have the gimbal cover on the drone because it will actually damage the gimbal if it happened, I'm sure, a bunch of times. So since it's windy and everything wants to fly away, so the front ones come up, the back ones come up, and it is powering on. So I don't even know what the flight time, I think the battery is around 30 minutes. Let's see what happens. I'm gonna fly one battery with this thing. I'll start a screen recording, and I'll kind of walk you through what I feel it's capable of, or its flight characteristics, or if it's getting blown all over the place, and let's launch this thing. Oh, it's too cold. It's hard to concentrate when it's basically 0 out and the wind's whipping at you. So let's go ahead, oh shit. So let's go ahead and get the phone in here. I can't wait to when I can actually get back to Hawaii permanently. It means my mom will have had to probably pass, but dementia's a tough journey, and they really don't have a massive quality of life, sadly, with this disease. But let's get back to this. But it is always on your mind when you're caregiving for someone you love. So the screen recording is commencing. As you can see, 30-mile-an-hour gusts, 17-mile-an-hour winds. Get into the Fly app. I updated everything last night. It's all ready to go. Battery's fresh. Oh, make sure this is actually plugged in securely. I may sit back in the car after it launches. We shall see. So go fly. So I'm going to take off. Whoop. Stop.
Aircraft in motion.
Okay. So apparently I accidentally hit something, but I'm gonna go ahead and launch this thing and let's see what happens with the wind. Motor stuck. Check for objects. I don't know. Let's see. Okay. So it's bouncing around. for sure. Make sure it's still screen recording. It is. So I don't know. I'm putting it in sport mode and it's dancing all over the place. Woo! So I'm gonna go back in the car. We have satellites. Okay. So I can concentrate a little bit more. Let me make sure everything's still recording. So you saw the drone. God, it's already at 66% battery somehow. I don't know how that is. So that's peculiar. So I'm going to go ahead in the settings. I'm going to make sure my camera is set to at least 4K so I can get some footage. Let me make sure 4K. Let's go 4K 60. And just try to fly around and see, because with the mode button is kind of stiff on this guy. So with the Neo, we couldn't get a shot at all. So I'm going to make sure I have obstacle avoidance on. I really didn't look at this. I do have it on. Okay, so unfold arm to power on. We could actually turn that off. So that's nice. So I'm going to make sure that's off. I didn't know that. I was going to say I don't like that, or I think I did say I don't like that. So having that option is pretty good. Battery info. I don't know why it's already low, but let's go ahead and get flying and see what happens. So let's go ahead and try to just get a little orbit of this because it's an object. I'm going to put in cine mode. And I'm going to try to just raise up altitude. So I couldn't do this on a day like today with the Neo. Guarantee it. So that's a good sign. It's 30-mile-an-hour gusts, and I could actually get something that's smooth enough. And the drone seems to be behaving relatively well. But again, with the Neo, there's no way I could do this on a day like today with the one-axis gimbal and that light drone getting blown all over. So that's promising. Let's go ahead and get it into sport mode and cruise around. So it seems like it's cruising a little bit in sport mode. It's going, it's breaking through the winds. Let's go ahead and get a little footage here. I'll put it back into cine mode. I don't know if I had it in sport mode. I think I did. This thing is really tight on the mode dial, the toggle. So apparently people are saying it's essentially the same quality as the Mini 4 Pro. So with that being said, I don't know. You can let me know if you have some experience already in the comments below. But for me, I don't use my Mini 4 Pro that often, and I don't know why I'd grab this one more so than a Mini 4 Pro. Maybe because you don't have the exposed props, which is nice for safety reasons, just for flying around people or over people. But let's go ahead and get, let me see. We have the 2-time lens. I don't know how that is. I'm going to put it into Pro mode. I wish it wouldn't have these auto toggles. I'm going to put it there. Way too high of a shutter speed. I don't have my filters yet. And let's go ahead and try to get a little footage here. And the Neo would definitely be struggling with a shot like this too, so you're aware. So far, it doesn't seem to be too bad in the winds, in my opinion. I mean, it may not be great, but compared to the Neo, it is great. Let me try one more time. I'm gonna look at those grids. I wanna see if the thing is kinda not staying level. I'm looking at that white grid line, and on the left side by the histogram, it looks like it's kind of tilting down a little bit. Maybe it's getting tweaked by the wind too much, and it's just not able to, see that? That white line is definitely getting pushed down closer to the waterfall area. So let's not spend too much time over there. Let's fly somewhere. So I got to pay attention to my battery. Got 46%. There's some birds, some geese. Now I'm not in sport mode. Now I'm in sport mode. Okay. I'm going to go back into cine mode and try to get a little shot. And essentially what I'm doing is just seeing if I could actually get footage on a day like today with this drone, and if it would be a viable option to fly, say for real estate or whatever it may be. Oh crap. That's another thing. You got 2 gigabytes. I forgot to mention that. What the heck is DJI thinking to give us 2 gigs of internal storage? I totally forgot to put a memory card in this thing. So there's that. So I just ran into a realistic example of forgetting to put a memory card or micro SD card in the drone, and I ran out of space within, what, 5 minutes? Because we have a lame 2 gigabytes of internal storage, as you see right here. Internal storage, 1.9 gigabytes. What are they thinking? Yes, I should have had a memory card in there, I get it, but that's really ridiculous in 2025 to not have a larger capacity for a brand new drone. So I'm in normal mode right now, and I'm full stick, and this is what's happening. Make sure this thing's screen recording. It is. So I'm full stick normal mode, and it's moving at this speed. Let me put it in sport mode, and it's still, it's struggling. So I'm full stick sport mode right now, and it's barely moving. So that's a little concerning because it isn't that windy of a day. I'm gonna lower altitude and try to break these winds, kind of like you would a current in the water. You don't fight the current. Oh God.
Battery level
Automatic,
is low. Wow.
So the battery is already
Aircraft will return
zapped.
to the home point in 10 seconds.
So that was an interesting quick flight. Really kind of crappy, honestly. I mean, I basically barely flew, ran out of space because there's only 1.9 gigabytes or 2 gigabytes of internal storage. The battery got
Low
zapped
battery. Return
like
to home promptly.
almost instantly. And let me get back out. Okay, so I'm back out, hello, and I'm gonna get this thing home. I could see it, but pretty lame flight, honestly. I mean, the battery alone, it wasn't apparently, I don't know why it wasn't full. It should have been. I charged it last night and I didn't fly it until now. So I gotta look into that. Yeah, I mean, a couple things for sure. I'm gonna turn the camera around. Hold on a second. Whoa, I totally almost hit me. So this thing essentially just seems like it's getting, like if I'm going full stick, it takes a second for it to break. Where are you, little guy? So watch. Oh, so now it wants to force land already. So, I don't know. For me, right now, this initial flight, was super lame and very unrewarding. So we shall see. Let me get this thing landed. Now, I don't even know how you're supposed to hand land this thing with the wind. Okay, there we go. So I don't know, flip or flop? I know that's been said, but right now, kind of a flop. I mean, this thing really was pretty lame experience-wise. I thought it was going to be way cooler. Maybe the key is not flying it like a normal drone and doing the stuff like the Neo by having it follow you and things like that. But it really didn't fly well. 2 GB of internal storage. I know, whatever, we all have memory cards, but I did forget mine in an honest, real way. And guess what? Couldn't even get shit footage-wise because I ran out of space in 5 seconds. So that is lame. It basically was not great with the battery, and it didn't really fly well in whatever, 15 to 30 mile an hour winds. So I don't know. To me, we'll see. I'm gonna fly it another day, see what kind of footage I can get, but the battery alone, getting zapped so fast, was not something that I found fun. And yeah, let me know what you guys think. Maiden flight, and pretty disappointing, honestly. So we'll see if I return it. I got 2 weeks to decide, and that's it, guys. See ya. Bye.